Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. And in today's video we're going to be taking a look at all of the multi-pack exclusives that I own. About a month ago I made a list just because I was bored of all the multi-pack exclusive releases, meaning cars that were only released in a multi-pack being 3 cars or more. Well, there is one exception, or a few exceptions. Such as, well, we'll get to that in later. But there is a lot of cars in here. I'd say maybe close to 100 right here right now, and there's maybe like 150 on the list. So we're just going to be taking a look at the ones that I have. I mean, there is a few rules. If the car is like a slight variation, like, oh, it's a Thailand variant of this car that was released as China, that one doesn't count, and cars that were re-released do not count, meaning that Bruce Boxman isn't on here, or Harvey Rodcap couldn't be on here. And this is the Chinese version of Bruce Boxman, which I found in stores back in 2015, which is pretty cool. Let's start it off with this guy right here. This is Mac iCar, and this is, of course, not a real Mac iCar. This is one of the factory custom ones, but I just thought I'd throw him in there since he is an actual multi-pack exclusive. Let's go with one of the most boring ones. This is Fireball Beach HJ Hollis. Fireball Beach Racers being the worst thing Mattel has ever made. It tops XRS, tops anything else. It doesn't quite top the lenticulars, but it is just awful. I mean, it's just not cool. It's just painted tan. It doesn't look that bad, although HJ is a good looking car, but the Fireball Beach Racers are not cool, at least in my opinion. Here is Captured Professor Z, exclusive to a Cars 2 11 pack, I believe. And if you want to check them out, you can go check out my top 25 rarest diecasts in my collection, where I do go more in depth on this guy. Let's go with this. This is the Chinese, or not the Chinese version, the smiling version of Primer Lightning Mcqueen, and he's on this list. Because he came with a phone, which I think is really cool. I store this guy by my Thomasville cars, but I store the actual, the better version where he's frowning and it's like more of a matte color. I store that by my, what's called the Rusty's Racing Center cars. I store them by that, and I also store the phone with that version of him. I also have a little hay bale right here which was exclusive to a Toys R Us 5-pack back in 2017. Next up, let's go with, how about Mare with Lightning Bolt hat. One of the most hated cars amongst the community. Personally, I think he's a pretty cool release, but the fact that they've put him in like almost every multi-pack, I'm not a big fan of that. Although, this version of Mater himself does look pretty good. Let's get these out of the way. These are the Convoy Brothers. Here's Convoy Brother K. And then we have Convoy Brother I. Next up we have A. And then finally, last but not least, we have G. Personally, for me, my personal favorite is K, then N, then G, and then I. I mean, they're all really cool, especially their expressions. They look really nice. Let's get this guy out of the way too. This is Guido with paint supplies. I didn't bother to bring over the paint bucket or the well, whatever he was storing the paint in, just because I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of tiny accessories. And I brought the hay bale and the phone over, but those are large accessories, and there isn't any other accessories in here. Actually, there is one. There is one more. Actually, two. but that is because that's what makes or breaks the car. This one, you can clearly see a difference between the two. Let's get this guy out of the way as well. This is Uncle Topolino with tires, who I reviewed yesterday, if you're watching this on the day that this video comes out. And if you do want to check him out more, you can go and watch that video. Next, let's go with... I'm going a lot faster than I thought this would take. Let's go with this guy. This is Carnival Racer, not Miguel Camino, Earl Filter, who is my personal favorite WGP racer. Then there's not Shirley. I'm not sure who would be third, but those are the two really cool ones because I'm a big fan of this guy's blue, and this blue really pops on the Carnival version. This guy was exclusive to the Carnival Cup 4-pack, and despite it being really common back at Target when it was out, the pack is now worth about $50 on eBay, so it's pretty sweet to have this guy, especially considering how good he looks. I like the different colored tires. I think that's a really nice addition. You know, obviously all the Carnival Cup racers have at least some form of different tires, but this guy has two different colors, red and blue. Let's go with Mia and Tia next, or a version of Mia and Tia. These are gold Mia. These are gold Mia. I'm not sure how you would say that. This is gold Mia and gold Tia. Exclusive to a 3-pack with, I think it was Bling Bling Mcqueen, correct me if I'm wrong. It's basically just me and Tia, but painted in gold. You have the yellow wheels, and I don't think they look too bad. Not awful. Trying to think of who should we go with next. Let's get some of these racers out of the way. Here's Lane Locke, exclusive to a Walmart 5-pack in the Cars 3 line, and has not been re-released since, and he's actually really rare despite his pack being somewhat common. I mean, even I found it in like one of the first days it came out, so it wasn't rare by any means. But there's no, at the time of recording this, there's none on eBay, or at least the pack, and there is a couple Lane Locks from eBay China for like $30. And he is a really nice looking car. The blue and the green and the orange all looks really good. I like him a lot more than the Synergy Next Gen. Let's keep rolling with the racers, but let's go to a Next Gen. Here is Steve Slick Lepage. Exclusive to the Next Gen 4-pack. We have 2 more cars from the Next Gen 4-pack that we showcase here as well. We'll get to them soon. This guy with his signature dark green and the, what's it called? The matte, not matte, foil, but kind of tin foil green. Whatever you want to call that. It is called foil. But it does look really nice on him, although there is lots of reports of it shipping easily. Luckily, mine, that has not happened to it yet, but I'm extra cautious with this guy, just in case. Here's a quick little variation. Here is Kabuto with Flames. He was originally canceled back in the original Cars Tunes line. And then back in like 2016, they re-released him in the Walmart 3-pack with the flames, which looks really nice. I believe the original variation of him that was going to have the flames had a different expression that looked a lot nicer. It's unfortunate that we didn't get this for this version of Kabuto. But the flames do look really nice. I'm a big fan of the kind of powder blue morphing into like a periwinkle color. It looks really nice. Trying to think of what would be a boring car. There's not a whole lot of them. Yeah, let's go with these. Here is what's the name? Fireball Beach Cruiser Mirrors, and this is not a Fireball Beach release. This is an actual mainline release to a Target exclusive 4-pack. Also came with Sandy Beach Lightning McQueen, and it was meant to show when they were on the beach racing. And this pack also came with a version of Guido with the tool gun and the Rusty's Racing Center toolbox. And my personal favorite from the pack is this Luigi right here, who has a much different expression, and he also has the checkered flag. Big fan of those. I'm actually surprised that this pack is rare, considering, as I recall, there was a lot of people who skipped out on this pack just because they thought it was boring. But there is still quite a few people who bought it, and it is not too rare on eBay right now, like $20 maybe. Next up, let's take a look at these guys. This is the Bumper Save Crew Chief and the Bumper Save Tall Pity. Unfortunately, I do not have the Short Pity, which is the one I need to complete the set, although I do need the Wide Pity, but he is a lot easier to find on eBay since he was released as a single in 2015. Once again, if you do want to check a little bit more out on these guys, you can go watch my 25 Rarest video because they're also in that video. Just keep with the pities and look at Ebenezer Schmidt. I actually did do a video on this guy and the Shiny Rex crew chief, whose name is Senior Trax. Senior Trax was released as a single, or I don't know if he was released as like an actual single, but I do know he was released by himself. And this guy was in a multi-pack with Senior Trax, or a 3-pack with Senior Trax, Ebenezer himself, and Darren Leadfoot. I did do a video on him way back in the day, and that was one of the last videos I ever recorded with my iPad. And this one, my phone has a lot higher quality. It can get up to 1080p, while as my iPad can only go up to 720p. So anything like Andrew Vrumon and I'm trying to remember, I think it was Outback Miles Axelrod was my first ever phone recording. So anything pre-Miles Axelrod or Outback Miles Axelrod is going to be terrible quality, so that's why I'm a lot more fond of my current reviews and how I do them. Let's go with the car who I'm surprised is a multi-pack exclusive. This is Union Jack Ramon, who is surprisingly rare. They did re-release him in 2017, but that version came with a paint gun. The version of Union Jack Ramon without the paint gun is exclusive to... He was released in 2 multi-packs and has not been re-released since. Although I believe he is due to be released in this year's mainline. Although who knows if it will be the version with the paint gun. But it will most likely be the plain version, removing this guy's multi-pack exclusive status. Speaking of removing the multi-pack exclusive status, here is Bruce Miller, and, well, that guy doesn't exactly... He's still a multi-pack exclusive, but he is one of the 2 remaining .com pack exclusives who have not been re-released, and I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that Bruce Miller, right here, will be re-released soon. He was released as a normal car, just as a .com 10 pack or 11 pack. He was the star of that show, and then he was re-released in another .com 10 pack with Dan Garcia, who just recently got re-released within the past week as a single. This guy looks really, really nice. I'm a big fan of his expression. And the RPM racers, man, they're hard to get. Until Barry DePedal was re-released, Bruce and Barry were some of the rarest duos in the game. Let's go with these guys. This is Team Octane Gain. These are the exclusive ones from the pack. And once again, if you want to check out more on them, you can go and watch my 15 Rarest video, or 25 Rarest, as they're in that video. And in that video, I take a lot closer, I take a much better look at them, and I don't want this video to go for too long. We're only about like 30%, maybe 40% of the way through this video. Let's go with another 3-pack. Here we have DD05, Mike 07, and Driving School Lightning McQueen, exclusive to a Walmart 3-pack back in 2015, around that time. And these are the only cars to ever be released from a canceled short. The short was scheduled to come out around the time that these were released, but it was unfortunately scrapped. But they did not scrap the diecasts, and we got these really, really cool looking guys. Driving School Lightning McQueen, I actually really like him with the wheels and all the decorations on him. I think it makes him look ridiculous, and I think it looks nice on him. He even has like stuff on the spoiler. It looks really, really weird. And then we have the two Rod Torque Redline repaints, especially this guy who's more of a blue color. Mike 07 and D05. Who, if you don't remember the plot of the short, were supposed to like replace Sheriff. While Sheriff was on a vacation, they'd come in for like 2 weeks, and then they were supposed to like terrorize the town with like a bunch of strict rules and stuff. But since we never did end up seeing that short, who knows what exactly happened. Although, with these diecasts, Dee definitely looks a lot more chill than Mike does, who Mike doesn't exactly have a nice expression. Looks pretty angry. Let's keep it with the 3-packs. Let's go with Metallic Rusty's Racing... Not Rusty's Racing Center. Metallic Rusty's McQueen. Raw Diecast Lightning McQueen. And Painted Diecast Lightning McQueen. These were the SDCC... I believe it was SDCC exclusives for the Cars 3 line in 2017. The Raw Metal Lightning McQueen just being an unpainted version of him. You can even see like some of the paint marks and all that. Painted Lightning McQueen, which is a painted version of him in that metallic color. And then Metallic Rusty's Lightning McQueen, who is the normal Rusty's Lightning McQueen that we saw from Cars 3, but it is metallic. And I like this version a lot better than the Cars 3 Metallic Lightning McQueen. It looks really, really nice. Say we're approaching about 50% of the way there. Let's take a look at more pitties. This is the Dinoco Tall Pitty, the Dinoco Tall Pitty, and the Dinoco Wide Pitty exclusive to that team set. And Roger Wheeler, aka the Dinoco Crew Chief, would have been in here, except he was re-released in 2019 on the Blue Desert card in a 2-pack. Big fan of these guys. I like their expression, especially the expression on the Tall Pitty. Looks really, really nice. Even like the curve and like a smirk. Looks really nice. I'm a big fan of the expressions on pitties. And speaking of expressions on pitties, we're going to have a look at my favorite expression on a pitty. This is Piccolo Perry. What's his name? Ernie Gearson's pitty, aka the Spearmint Pitty. Exclusive to a 3-pack with Ernie Gearson, Piccolo Perry himself, and Ernest B. Rakes, who is the Spearmint Crew Chief. And yes, those are all official names. Nebuchadnezzar Schmidt, official name. Senior Tracks, official name. Shirley Spinout, official name, because that's what they came as. A bit surprising that they didn't just label them as Spearmint Pitty, but they actually gave them names, which they do now too. Luckily, this guy is my favorite expression out of any pitty. Kind of like a shocked expression, and it actually has a really similar expression to Shirley's Spinout over here, who look almost the exact same. Shirley's mouth is just a bit smaller, although it might blend in a little bit more since she's all red. And both Shirley, yeah, let's take a look at Shirley now too. Shirley was exclusive to another multi-pack with Roman Dunes, the No Stall Crew Chief, and Todd Marcus. Notice how all of the racers that had the 3-packs, Ernie Gearson, Darren Leadfoot, and Todd Marcus, all had re-releases from the Cars 3 line. They all appeared in Cars 3. And speaking of Todd Marcus, here is the Cars 3 version of Todd Marcus, one of my personal favorites, with the light red, the kind of teal blue, the dark blue. It looks so good on him. And he was exclusive to the first ever Cars 3 11 pack came out on May 1st, along with the Go Racer. We'll take a look now too. Unfortunately, the Go Racer hasn't been named, so we just have to hope that he'll be re-released in as like a single or something like that. Let's hope that he gets a name so that he doesn't remain as like an unnamed diecast. Hopefully he'll be out soon. It's really, really nice. Let's keep it coming with the Target exclusive 11 pack stock cars. Here's Jimmy Cables, the Intersection Cars 3 stock car. Looks really nice with the multiple shades of purple/pink. Something I haven't really noticed on this hood right here is you have 3 different shades. You have a purple on the left, kind of like an orange in the middle. On the right, you have like a dark pink. It looks a lot better in person, but I haven't actually noticed that. And in there, you can see the Intersection logo. I was kind of scattered about. I haven't actually noticed that until right now. That's a really nice little Easter egg. And of course, his friend, the Cars 3 version of Dirksen D'agostino, who also looks really, really nice. With the gray eyelids look odd, but I'm a big fan of this guy. All of the detail that's on this guy, it reminds me of the Cars 3 Ernie Gearson, having all that detail as well. Luckily, this guy did get a name, along with Jimmy Cables. The Go Racer is the only one. Although, if you do count George Newwin, who we're taking a look at now, this guy was just labeled as Next Gen Leakless. However, thank you Tomica for revealing his name. They released him, and his name was George Newwin, with a dash between the new and the win. This, of course, is the only Next Gen who has been released so far that does not have any contingency sponsors on the right side, or not the right side, his sides. Looks really, really nice with like the ink fade. And one of my friends, Disney Docket, found like a counterfeit one, like a custom that someone made. If you want to do that, you can go and check out his video on it, because it's actually pretty funny and interesting. The amount of time and effort that someone put into making a fake Next-Gen Leakless. Looks really, really nice. And I like his expression. Exclusive to a Walmart 5-pack in 2019. So, in 2018, we had the Paul Conrev Walmart 5-pack. 2019 was the George Newwin Walmart 5-pack. Now we gotta figure out what will come in 2020. Maybe it will be, notice how both of them were the, this model right here. The George Newwin model, aka the Danny Suarez model, as most people call it. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the Walmart exclusive 5-pack for this year, the Walmart exclusive Next Gen. I'm trying to think of who's left. You have Spearmint. You have. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's gonna be the Next Gen Go. If they do decide to make another Next Gen 5-pack, like they did the past 2 years, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be Next Gen Go, who's exclusive. Well, who knows? I'll be happy with any new Next Gen. Let's just keep it going with the Next Gens. Let's get JD McPillar out of the way. Exclusive to the, what was it called? The Next Gen 4-pack in 2017. And then he was re-released in mid-2019 in an 11-pack, meaning he is still a multi-pack exclusive, and he just recently got his mini racer released, which looks really, really nice. Obviously, I'm a big fan of this guy's purple, the yellow, the black, the blue. It all looks so nice, especially on JD. It's got like a really neon design. It looks really, really nice. This guy would have been much higher on my like Next Gen favorite list if he hadn't been re-released in that multi-pack. Although he's still really nice. Let's just finish off the Next Gens. Let's get Flipped Over out of the way. He was also in my top 10 rarest diecast, or top 25 rarest diecast list. Go check that out. There's a lot more in depth on him, as I've said for the previous ones. Both intersection racers are multi-pack exclusives. What time is it? It's about 10:29 right now. Been rolling for about 25 minutes right about now. Let's do some Christmas cars, don't we? Here's Christmas Luigi. I apologize for that. My camera literally just stopped for no reason. It literally just exited out to the home screen. Anyways, as I was saying, this is Christmas Luigi, exclusive to a 5-pack. It might have been a 6-pack if you count Guido. From the original Storytellers Christmas line. Just normal Luigi with a happy expression, and he's got like a little hat on top. It's a little beat up since this, I actually did get this back in 2010, or around that time when it was released. And the other exclusive in that pack was the Christmas version of Guido, which has a bunch of stars all over him. He's got a hat, and he's also got a scarf. And this guy did come with like a little present, although I'm not sure where that ever went. So, who knows? There's one more Christmas car that we have to get through. That is Santa Car. I also got this guy back in 2010 when he was originally out. And he was exclusive to a 3-pack with one of the Christmas versions of Mcqueen and another version of the Christmas Mater. There's two versions of the Christmas Mater, one with a reindeer hat and one with like a normal, kind of like Canadian, I want to say, hat. And there's 2 versions of Christmas Lightning McQueen, the normal one, with like the green bolts and all that, and the snowplow one, where it's that version of McQueen with the lights on top, a snowplow, and the off-roading tires. Let's get these out of the way as well. This is the only exception I'm making. This is Wedding Day Stanley, Wedding Day Lizzie. They are also in the Rarest Diecasts video. And here are the other time travel Mater cars. Stanley, of course, coming with that little, what's it called, the stand that he has. These were also in the Rarest Diecasts video, so you can go and check that out if you want. Those were exclusive to a 3-pack, and Wedding Day Lizzie and Stanley were exclusive to a 2-pack. There's not a lot of cars left to choose from. So let's go with these guys. That's Earl Filter. This is the short Legolas Pity, and this is the wide Legolas Pity, exclusive to the team set. I believe, although I'm not sure 100%, I believe that, what's his name? Earl Filter was released as like an egg or somewhere like that, like the other 3-packs. But he was also released as a team set with Stacy himself, the short pity, and the wide pity. And then he also came with all the accessories and all that. The final 2 pities on this list also happen to be the 2 newest cars in my collection. This is the wide HTB Pity, and this is the tall HTB Pity, looking right, or left, to his left, and I do not believe that that's Bruiser Bukowski, since they were released in the same pack, in the team pack, so I'm just going to say that it's not Bruiser Bukowski, even though a lot of people seem to think so. This version of the wide pity was exclusive to both the team set, and he was released in a multi-pack with Mater, himself, and Bruiser Bukowski. But this guy was only exclusive to the team set, the tall one. Let's get things more organized here. Tom Todd out of the way. He was also in the Rarest Diecasts video. Let's get another one of the Rarest Diecasts videos cars out of the way. This is Bob Motor, also in the Rarest Diecast video. If you really do want to take an in-depth look at them, you can go and check that video out, because like half the cars on that list are also on this one, because multi-packs don't tend to be common after a while. And of course, his friend Max car, also in that video. And the final car that was in that video is Percy Handbrakes. Being exclusive to a Toys R Us 3-pack, and also being exclusive to a Toys R Us 3-pack is Jonas Rivera, named after employee Jonas Rivera. And he appeared in the flashback scene where they're showing all the cars going on the newly built interstate, and you can see him just kind of traveling. He goes like straight forward and just kind of fades out. Really nice release. Same model as Milton Byline. I'm a big fan of the light blue, kind of the Milton caliper blue, and the white on top. It looks pretty nice. Whew. Let's go with another Toys R Us exclusive, and that is Hank Wholesome. He was a Radiator Springs Classic release only, and JW was actually a Radiator Springs Classic release only as well, until he was released in like 2015. This guy was released in, I believe, like a 5-pack or 7-pack, and then he was re-released like the same year in a 3-pack with Mia and Tia. So he's still a multi-pack exclusive. Looks really nice, just a plain, simple blue pickup, and I believe he does appear in the movie. Interesting release, interesting choice. Let's go with Hydraulic Radiator Springs Ramon. This guy was in my Weirdest Diecasts video. Of course, exclusive to Target during the Cars 2 reign. The hydraulic version of Radiator Springs Ramon, who is a chase and will not be re-released. And I doubt that this guy will get re-released as well. He also has a really nice looking expression. Let's get another Cars 3 car out of the way. This is T-Bone. He was released originally in the Cars 3 line, and then he was also released a couple more times in the same 5-pack. It's just the same 5 cars in that 5-pack getting re-released over and over and over again. But he is still a multi-pack exclusive, despite being re-released so many times. And speaking of being re-released so many times, this is Frank Jensen, the original multi-pack re-release. He was released in the a 2012/2011 Cars 2 like 7-pack, and then he was re-released again in 2015 in the Bruce Boxman multi-pack, and that's how I got this guy. I don't know if there's any difference between that one and the version of the 7-pack version. And this guy was actually supposed to be released as a single in 2014. However, they canceled Frank and instead replaced him with Alberto, who is a different Fiat fan, and I think Alberto is a lot cooler of a release, and I'm really happy that they canceled a re-release to be replaced with a new release, even for those who didn't end up getting Frank Jensen. But if you do not have him, he is really cheap on eBay from the Chinese eBay sellers, so if you really do want to get Frank, it won't be too hard. Let's go with Gigi Cosmic. This version of Gigi Cosmic is the version that is in my second most viewed video. It's approaching 10,000 views, which is just insane. My most viewed video has 12K, which is pretty cool. And I actually filmed the video on this guy in a hotel bathroom in Sydney, Australia. That was during my trip to Australia in mid-2017. And that also happened to be the time that this pack got released. As soon as it was spotted, I went out to like a Target, and the nearest Target was like a train ride away. It was like 20 minutes riding on the train, but we went to that Target, and I did find the Gigi Cosmic pack, and it was 100% worth it, considering I was one of the first. I believe I was the first person to review him, or at least one of the first. Meaning I was like the second person to find him, and then I was one of the first to review him. Although I know that my friend Astro Smokey was the first to report finding him, and I don't know if he reviewed him or not, or if he did, I don't know if it was out between mine or not. But my review of him isn't particularly good, but it is a review, I guess. And I was a few months later, I was actually one of the first people to find him in the United States, although I didn't bother to find that pack. Really interesting release, and it's weird how he hasn't been re-released since. This guy's pack was somewhat rare, but he is rare now. But there's, of course, like all of the Cars 3 stock cars, easy to find on the Chinese eBay sellers. The only Cars 3 stock car that isn't particularly easy to find is this guy. This is Bobby Lee Testa, exclusive to another .com 10-pack. He's the only one that hasn't been re-released as a single since. Yeah, that's true, apart from Bruce Miller. And he is the Carbon Cyber stock car. Carbon Cyber is obviously the most ignored, most ignored sponsor that there is. This guy was exclusive to a .com 10-pack, and it wasn't even like somewhat common like the Bruce Miller pack was. Like, you can't find him on eBay for like $40. And then Jim Reverick has not been released at all. And this version of Bobby Lee Testa, I actually got it from one of the Chinese eBay sellers, and I just happened to get it with a prototype code on it. You can see that 45 right there, just below his mouth, which is really cool. Looks really, really nice. Really cool not next gen, stock car. I'm surprised I haven't taken a look at these guys yet because they're super boring and not rare at all. This is Dalmatian, Mia, and Tia, exclusive to a couple multi-packs, most recently released in a 3-pack with the Rescue Squad ambulance. They actually have different expressions for like the first time. You can see this one over here is Group 1, which I'm going to assume is Mia. Has like a normal expression, and who I believe is Tia has like a really excited expression. Both some pretty interesting releases, although I do not particularly care for them. We're down to 4 cars left. Let's just move them all out of the way, because we're going to take a look at this guy next. This is Ronnie Del Cooper, exclusive to a Cars 2 4-pack. And I also happened to get him way back in the day. And he has not been re-released since, and I don't believe he actually appeared in the movie. But his pack is still pretty common on eBay. You can get it for cheap. I mean, he's not super rare or expensive by any means, but all Mini Coopers look really, really nice, and this guy is no exception. Especially Amarevsk, who is a canceled diecast. I mean, Mare just looks so good. But speaking of canceled diecasts, behold one of the most weird canceled cars that I own. Probably the most weird. Although actually, that's not true. There's Cars 3 Rent Mustang Burger, who didn't even appear in the movie. And fun little story about Cars 3 Rent Mustang Burger. He was scheduled to appear in the movie, but he didn't, of course. And you can even see there's actually an image of him in package. There's an image from Taobao of what he would have looked like in package. It's like the only one that I know of. It says Brent Mustang Burger with headset, which I think is really cool. And he ended up getting scrapped. But this guy, this is Thomas Darren Leadfoot. You have the proto code. You have a bunch of chips that he has and stains and stuff. And that's from the seller himself. I've been super careful with this guy. This guy was available from the Chinese eBay sellers for just a tiny little bit. I mean, I was able to snipe one for $40. And I did review him a while ago when I first got him. But in case you didn't see that, he looks really, really nice. And he was supposed to be released in the Thomasville 5-pack with like Metallic, Fabulous, Lightning McQueen, and a couple other releases. But that 5-pack never came, and I don't think it will, since it would be weird to release like a Metallic release in a multi-pack. There's been no like Thomasville news for a very long time. So I'm just going to safely say that this guy is canceled, officially. And even so, I do have the Chinese prototype version of him with prototype code, so that's a big plus. Here we have Hauser Boom, the second to last car on this list, and by the way, this list is in no particular order. But this guy was released in a 7-pack back in like 2013. Actually, I think it was a Final Lap multi-pack, and I didn't get this guy back in the day, but I instead got this guy off of eBay China back when he was released in like 2013. Was when I won it, but not when I got it. But my grandma won it from eBay, and it didn't even come with a camera. I don't even know. I believe this is Hauser Boom's camera, but I have no idea the story behind this guy. All I know is that I got it, and it was not from the multi-pack. And last but not least on this list, here we have Dinoco Showgirl 2. We can zoom out and see her. This is Dinoco Showgirl number 2, exclusive to a 3-pack with a version of Lightning McQueen and Dinoco Showgirl number 1. And she's no different from the other version of the Dinoco Showgirl. The only difference is that this one, she's looking right, and the Dinoco Showgirl number 1, she's looking left. And I believe that this version of her is like super rare nowadays. And I like Hauser Boom. I also got her from my grandma. She won it from an eBay bid from China, which is really weird. Really cool diecast, and I'm a big fan of it. Looks really nice. Dinoco Showgirls are some really weird looking, but at the same time, like intriguing and cool releases. So that pretty much concludes this video. I thought that video was going to go a lot longer, although it did go pretty long still. Hopefully I could do more of these videos in the future, and if you do look at my schedule, I do have a couple more planned. You guys are going to want to look at 5-23, May 23rd. It's going to be a really exciting day, and if you check, you can go and check out my Instagram, where I did kind of show a sneak peek of what will happen on that. It's a quick little hint. I'm sure you could figure it out easily if you saw my story about it. But anyways, that will do it for this video. Hopefully, I can keep on doing these videos in the future. They are really long, and they are kind of a pain to make since they do take so long. But they also, at the same time, are kind of fun to show off all these cars, and they do get a lot more attention than my regular reviews most of the time, unless I review like really new release. Like Astro Smokey does, who he lives in Australia, gets a lot of the new stuff for early, so you can check out him, like I did say earlier. But anyways, that pretty much concludes today's video. I will see you all in the next video, but until then, enjoy this little time lapse that I did from when I went to sleep at about 11 to when I woke up today at about 7 o'clock. Enjoy this time lapse of the night sky.